Is your 13-year-old daughter ready for the independence that she's craving? Well, we're going to talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families to live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's answer today's. My daughter is 13 and she's really starting to push away. She resists spending time with the family and just wants to go to her friends' houses all the time. We live about a mile from a yogurt shop and she asked to walk over there and meet her friends. I'm not even comfortable letting her walk around alone. I know this is going to become more of a problem the older she gets. What do I do? Well, thank you for your question. There's a lot to unpack here. The first thing is what she's going through is fairly normal. Teenagers, adolescents normally push away from their parents the more they get into their adolescence. It's normal. If they didn't do this, they'd never leave the house. It's okay. It's a normal part of development. But there needs to be a balance, right? It's okay for her to crave being with her friends, want to be with her friends. She should have some positive social interactions in her life routinely, and that's wonderful. But she should also have some connection with family as well. Even though she's pushing away from it, there needs to be some balance. And collaborating with her on how to make this more appealing to her, more enjoyable for her. And you may get the rolling of the eyes. You may get the, nothing, I just don't want to be with you. I understand that. Many of us adults were like that as teenagers too, and we grew out of it. So be patient. It's a marathon. But make sure that you are offering her both. Secondly, how much independence should she be allowed to have? How dangerous is it for her to walk to the yogurt shop? How much time should she spend at friends' houses? And again, every family is going to be a little different with this. But it's important to negotiate with her how much time she's spending at friends' houses versus having friends at your house. And she may say, friends here is boring. Find a way, a compromise with her to make that doable so you can get to know her friends, get to know her the parents of her friends as well. I think it's really important. But also this whole thing of independence. Should she be able to walk to the yogurt shop that's a mile away? Physically, a mile walk is not that big of a deal. But there's going to be questions. Is she safe to do this? How do you do this safely so you don't go crazy? Every parent has the nightmare that they let their child loose to give some independence and they get snatched up and they're gone forever. Every parent has that nightmare. I do too. I get it. But we have to understand that that nightmare is statistically incredibly small. It is much more likely that she walks to the yogurt shop and is uneventful. Now again, every neighborhood's different and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but statistically, she's much more likely to die in a car crash that you're driving. I'm not saying you're going to die in a car crash. I'm just saying statistically, that's a much more likely thing to happen. And you guys get in the car all the time. And you take that risk all the time. So maybe collaborating with your daughter on how to have safety. Does she need to get into, self-defense classes? Does she have her phone on? Does she have a tracker on her phone? Does she need to send a text when she gets to the yogurt shop? If she goes to the sandwich shop that's, 2 stores down, does she need to let you know that? Figure out how do we allow your daughter to have some reasonable independence so she can start developing that awareness of how to do this. Because if not now, when? Is it when she's 16? Is it when she's 25? When is the time when she can start experimenting with a healthy amount of independence? And this is really scary. And I'm going to say something that people may not agree with, but in our society, we tend to worry more about our girls than boys in these situations. I'm not saying that boys can't get abducted or hurt, because they can. Boys can get in danger too. But, I talk to parents all the time, and they'll say they worry more about their daughters in these situations than their sons. And if he was a boy, would you have the same concerns? You might, or you might not. I don't know. But your fears, I'm not saying we should throw them away. They should inform you, but should they be in the driver's seat? And maybe they shouldn't be in the driver's seat, but they should be there to inform you and to be aware so you're not too careless. My hunch is you're not going to be careless because you're already worried about this stuff already. So collaborate with your daughter, find a compromise, something that may not be perfect for anyone, which is usually the best compromise there is, and allow it to grow and evolve as she matures and gets older and demonstrates responsibility. That's our question for today. Thank you. We love your questions. Keep them coming. If you'd like me to answer your question, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us right here on Facebook. Thank you again. My name is Kent Toussaint. This is Tips on Teens, and I represent Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit Child and Teen Counseling. See you next week. Bye-bye.